Okay, so we're back in game, and we're going to run over to our area, and where we previously had two zombies and a ghoul, and we're going to notice now that we can see over here there's one zombie and a dirt mound. So again, not surprising, the zombie is set to common, and the ghoul set to rare, so we're probably going to see more zombies than we would ghouls. However, when I do defeat him, the next time that the spawn timer elapses, a brand new creature is going to be created, and it could be a ghoul the next time, but most likely it'll probably be a zombie. If I wanted the ghoul to appear just a little bit more often than rare, I would set it to uncommon. If I wanted him to appear, a third of the time kind of thing, a half of the time, zombie versus ghoul, I would set him to common as well. Remember, when I choose random versus full in spawn count, quantity is not used. So whatever's in the quantity field is not used. It's basically going to use the min and max spawn counts and the frequency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bash this in, because it was bashable, and this just gives us a demonstration of the ability to have respawnable placeable objects that I can smash up or whatnot. This could be a chest that I could loot, and once it's looted, have it despawn kind of thing, and respawn a little bit later, maybe even in another location, which is going to be something we're going to demonstrate in a few minutes. But as you can see, everything has been defeated, and again, when the spawn timers are elapsed, we're going to see a brand new dirt mound here, and possibly a ghoul, but most likely another zombie appear here. Again, I'm not going to wait for all this to go through. I'm going to move this right along here and head back into the tool set. Okay, so we're back in a tool set, and we're going to move on to the next part. Two things we want to do in this part is that we want to be able to have more of these zombie ghoul type waypoint spawns created. So, it would be an awful lot of work if I had to lay down another waypoint, over here, and go in and have to configure that, and, have another one laid here and go in and have to configure that, adding the zombies and the ghoul to randomly spawn one of. But I don't have to do that, actually. All I have to do is select this one. I can copy it, Control C, and paste, and, place it kind of right there. And I can lay another one kind of right there. And that's it. I'm done. Now what I'll have is I have 3 waypoints, and when the spawner kicks off, this one could be a zombie or a ghoul, this one could be a zombie or a ghoul, this one could be a zombie or a ghoul. Ghouls are still set to rare on all 3, and it remembers the settings between them all. If I wanted to make a custom change to one particular one, say, whoops, I'm not going to be able to do that tree. Say this one right here. If I wanted to make this one act a little differently from the other two, I just select him and then fire up the spawn plugin and configure him differently. But other than that, they're all identical, and we can keep them that way. So that's one thing I wanted to do. One other very important thing that you're going to want to make sure of is that when you are placing your waypoints, you want to make sure they're in walkable areas. If they're not in walkable areas, it's not going to work right. You're going to log, you're going to go into your module and nothing is going to spawn. You're going to scratch your head. Why? If one of these waypoints is not in a walkable area, that kind of thing will happen. So keep that in mind. So we'll turn that off. The second thing I wanted to do is I want to be able to have things spawn not always at the same place. So as you know, a zombie or ghoul will spawn here, one will be here, and one will be here. And of course our dirt mound is going to spawn here. What I want to demonstrate is the ability to have, this dirt mound, for example, and it could be just as easily be a creature, spawn in different places around the area. Now, in order to do this, it's actually fairly simple to do. I just pull over my blueprints, and in my waypoints blueprints under empty, there's a standard normal empty waypoint in there, and it's just called waypoint. What you do is you basically select where in your area you would like your dirt mound to appear, where possible locations could be. So we're going to say, one there, maybe one here, maybe one over there, and maybe one back here kind of thing. So we've laid, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these white waypoints down, including the actual spawn one. We've got a total of 5 waypoints. So what you have to do is you actually have to create what's called a waypoint group set. And how you do that is you simply select all the waypoints for all these locations, starting with the main one, starting with the one with the configuration on it, the red one. So we'll start with that one by selecting it. We'll hold our shift key down and we'll start selecting the other ones, not the tree. And that's going to be a pain. Of course, I'm just going to move this grass out of my way so I can actually select this thing. Or actually, even better again, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and hide all these trees. There we go. That's easier. So we're going to select that one. Always select your main one with the configuration on it first, then select your child waypoints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you've got them all selected, you simply right click on one and select create waypoint set. And give it some kind of unique name. We'll call it spawn dirt mound number 1 kind of thing. And click OK. And as you can see, all these joining lines form around this waypoint set. So that's all you have to do. You have to tell it, give it that unique name, so it doesn't get confused, and think these other blue waypoints are part of where the dirt mound should spawn. And that's it. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One final step in this is that we have to go back and select the main waypoint again, the one with the configuration on it. Fire up the spawning plugin and go down and tell it that there are 5 waypoints in the set. And that's it. Hit finish. The system has to know how many waypoints you have in your set, so it doesn't waste cycles trying to find them and discover them. If you just come right out and say, you know what, there's 5 in this set, it makes the system a little bit easier. It doesn't have to crunch so much. So there you go. That's it. We've got 3 identical waypoints for creatures. We've got 5 locations for our dirt mound now. So what we'll do is we'll turn our trees back on, and we'll save this and go back into the tool set and take a look at it. Okay, so we're back in game, and we're going to run over here to our little area, and we're going to notice that there's our dirt mound, which normally in the past it's been showing up over here, but it's randomly selected that location. And as I can see, there are we do have 1 ghoul and a zombie and another ghoul. Now look at that. That's rare indeed. That can happen. It's rare. Chances are when I load this up again, I'm not going to see 2 ghouls. I'll probably see 3 zombies. But there they are. It can happen. If I want it even more rarer than this, then I'll have to change these to very rare and potentially even adjust the very rare numbers, percentages in the configuration. But there they are. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go over here and say hello. I'm going to give these guys a little bit of a thrashing. And one of the things I really want to do, actually, I'm just going to let this zombie beat on me for a minute because I want to get this spawn timer. So I am going to sit through this one. What I'll do is I'll time-lapse the spawning period after I get this zombie killed. So now that pile of dirt or dirt mound is now despawned and its timer is ticking. And that zombie is defeated. So what I want to do is I'm going to wait here and see what things spawn and don't spawn. I'm going to speed the clock up a little bit. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that this spawn system only uses, besides the regular creature heartbeats, it doesn't do anything special to those things or any of the other scripts, just the on death. And all that does is record the time of death. It doesn't use delay commands or heartbeats or anything like that to keep track of it. There's 1 heartbeat per area, and it's not even an area heartbeat, it's a placeable object. It's an invisible placeable object that gets created. So you don't have to really worry about 50 extra heartbeats in an area to kind of bog things down or whatnot. So it's streamlined. You may notice a little bit of a performance hit. If you have like 50 creatures or objects spawn in an area the first time you enter it, and as soon as everything appears, everything returns back to normal. You don't have to worry about performance issues. But that's one thing to kind of pay attention to. If you do have a lot of spawns in one single area, the first time you enter that area, you may see a little bit of a performance hit. It only lasts about a second, and then once everything has actually spawned, and look, I didn't even have to wait. I wasted my time talking to have this thing appear, and it just happened to appear in the same spot. Again, the only time you'll see that performance hit is you have a lot of creatures and you're entering an area for the first time. So that one's destroyed, and now I'm going to increase the time, get it to spawn again. Okay, so we're back to regular speed, and you'll notice that this time our dirt mound spawned over here. While I was doing that time lapse there were 3 spawns that all appeared at the same time. It's basically because I roughly kill them all within the same minute. Everything happens here on a minute by minute basis, so if I kill them all in the same minute, roughly 2 minutes later, they're all going to spawn again. If I want this broken up a little bit more, what I want to do is, set a minimum versus a maximum respawn time, maybe 2 to 4 minutes or something like that. That'll break it up a little bit more. So that's just some of the customization you'll have to do. So as you can see, that's the one thing I want to demonstrate is how the dirt mound is, respawning in different locations around the area. Each time it spawns, it's randomly choosing one of those things. So we're going to go back to the tool set for one final item that we want to demonstrate and go from there.